Last year, my daughter Hannah experienced her very first Caribbean trip, her very first sandals resort, her very first legal drink, and we're just getting started talking about her firsts. Today, for the very first time, 3D Travel's home office assistant, Hannah Castillo, who's newly married and a frequent traveler, is joining us in the studio. Welcome, Hannah.
Hello.
Hi,
Are you happy to
Hannah.
be here?
I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, good to know. If you're part of our YouTube channel, then we would love for you to like, subscribe, share, follow, do all the things, and then look for us every Monday with a new premiere.
So today we're going to be talking about flying into the Caribbean, small airports with infrequent flights, and we want to know what it's like. We want to know if it's scary, is it clean, is it amazing? I don't know. So today we're going to ask Hannah her impressions on this and why she would or would not want to return to the island paradise of Antigua. And then finally, we're going to hear the stories because that's what I'm here for. That's what we're all here for. Hannah approaches travel in her very own fun and unique way, and I am excited to hear all about it.
I will say it was super fun. That is one of the best things. You know this, Sandy. When we get obviously taking our kids anywhere, but taking anyone somewhere they haven't been before. And
Oh, it's so
Caribbean
exciting.
islands, it's a whole different animal. It's
Hmm.
amazing, but it's different.
It
Okay.
is.
But we're here to hear from you, Hannah. Did you have any idea of what to expect of a Caribbean island before we went to Antigua?
I had a little bit of an idea because we looked at photos and videos, and we don't leave anything as a surprise, but it's completely different when you experience it, especially the people, just the locals on the island.
Hmm.
Can't, you can't you can't know what it's like to interact with them from a YouTube video.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
think that's very true. You can't know how amazing they are until you're standing there and how friendly and warm and welcoming. Was that the impression you got?
Absolutely. Like even at the airport, usually everyone has a very negative association with American airports because nobody
Because
really
they're
wants to be there.
no, no, no.
No, it doesn't feel like the people working there want to be there. But we flew into Antigua, and the little tiny airport was full of people who looked happy and like they were enjoying their day and they were excited to see us, and it was completely different.
That's awesome.
I think the moment that I realized how much I loved the island of Antigua was when we went back. This was me without Hannah. So a group of us went back to Antigua and kept hearing the same story over and over. And I know they told you this story too when you were there, Hannah, because it was life changing for all of them. But when COVID happened, what a lot of people don't realize is how many people were going hungry in these island nations that are dependent on tourism. And we everywhere we went, they'd show us their gardens and everything. We've talked about that before. But what's really unique to Antigua is that it was an event. They were one of the first islands to reopen, and they worked so hard to make that happen. And when the very first plane landed with the very first American passengers and British passengers to come to the islands, it was a huge news event. It streamed on televisions everywhere, and you could hear the cheers across the island, and everyone would tell us the same story, and everyone would get emotional when they talked about it. So we got emotional when they talked about
I'm
it,
sure.
because it wasn't just, and it was only a couple. Like, I don't know if y'all flew. You remember flying in the days of COVID when it seemed like only people in the travel industry and the very few brave people went
Yep.
out there, and we literally were told to sit on different areas of the plane
Mm-hmm.
so to keep it balanced out because there were so few of us. It was crazy that this was in that time period. So it was like four passengers, I want to say. I don't know if you
Oh
remember,
wow.
Hannah, that were four. It was like such a tiny group of tourists, but the whole island erupted in a roar because this was happening. And we found out as well that they have to plan flights 6 months out. So,
Oh wow.
what an act! I know, I had no idea. So, what an act of stress and bravery. And can you imagine all these people behind closed doors bartering and saying, please plan this flight 6 months from now? We were all going through COVID wondering we had no idea what was going to happen. And that whole time there were people behind closed doors saying, you have to send planes to my island. You have to send planes to my island because that's how we'll survive. And so the fact that the plane came and brought tourists, it's just, I don't know, gives me goosebumps.
So
Okay, back to you, Hannah. Sorry. I get very excited about how much
By all means.
Well, this is a huge reason why we're in the industry. Okay. Even though you are a frequent traveler, Hannah, this was your very first all inclusive Sandals Antigua. And Sandals, if you haven't been to Sandals before, guys, it's all inclusive as in even your tips, even the car that
Hmm.
picks you up at the airport. So it is definitely the full on experience. What did you think of your first time at a Sandals resort?
I thought it was fantastic.
Why?
It was it was completely stress-free, which is amazing. Especially I think if you've been an adult for a long time, which I have not, but if you've been an adult for a long time, it's very nice to have a break from thinking about everything. But if you're a fresh adult, you've also, like me, I've traveled a lot, but I hardly have traveled and been in charge of myself or my own tips
Mm.
or my schedule, and it's very scary to deal with that. So it's really nice that I was able to go somewhere as an adult but relax and kind of experience traveling as an adult but have a little bit of a segue into real adulting. But it was amazing. It was, and nobody makes you feel weird. Like you don't feel weird. I don't know. If you go to a all inclusive, you might it could feel weird. It's like I'm not paying for it. Can I have some more food? No, but no, everyone's super nice.
Oh, I see what you're
You
saying.
okay? So she just
That's
made an
interesting.
excellent point. One of
Mm-hmm.
my first all-inclusive experiences, I remember sitting, and it was time to get up from the restaurant table,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like looking around. Well, what do I do? We were done
Right.
eating. It was time to go, but I was so used to grabbing my purse and
Mm-hmm.
figuring out the tip or whatever. I felt so awkward. Yeah, that's an excellent point, Hannah. If you are used to that type of thing, as a someone
Mm-hmm.
transitioning into adulthood, you watch your parents do
Yeah.
that. Well, as the one
Yeah.
that's doing it, it was the strangest thing to stand up and walk away and not leave something behind besides a thank you. So that's a good
Mm-hmm.
point.
Yeah, I think even for our frequent travelers, Hannah and her husband chose a domestic honeymoon, but my son and daughter-in-law chose they
Hmm.
wanted to go somewhere and have an adventure, and we absolutely chose Sandals for that reason because there wasn't hidden moments where you have to figure
Right.
out how to tip on nothing. Like I've
Hmm.
had that happen
Mm-hmm.
before. I've ordered to drink places just so I could leave a tip because I knew I needed to leave a tip and that
Yep.
was the only thing that cost any money. So it can be awkward. That's really interesting, Hannah. Good job pointing that out.
So
Well,
I'm
yeah,
also curious. No, go ahead. Sorry.
it can be awkward. No, you're okay. It can be awkward, but it like if you just feel awkward. But I also want to say that they do such a beautiful job at Sandals making you feel comfortable, and just
Hmm.
making you feel like it's totally normal and just like, oh no, go ahead, please. Would you like another, whatever? And it's just helps you relax and not feel that weird feeling.
Did it take you a minute to decide, well, I kind of really want a fruit juice, but I know that I don't have to. Did it take you a minute to think, I can just go order this anywhere else? I don't have to pay for it. I don't have to think about the cost. Did it take you a minute to do that? Because I know it does me.
It yes, a
Or
little
were you
bit,
already
yeah.
ready for it? You might
I
have
was
anticipated this if you knew where you were going, but I know I took a minute to get used to that.
I was pretty excited. So I'm always ready. I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to go get so much free stuff." I order one and then I'm like, "I don't want to order another. I'll look weird."
Yep. But you don't have that there. So that was kind of cool.
That's
So
really
Hannah, I know
nice.
your mom went to industry meetings while you were explored the resort. I want to tell you, sorry. Can you tell me about the crepes at Cafe de Paris? I heard you had some of those.
I had one. I had a
Oh,
very
so one.
I don't think I
This is the time
experienced
where
the
she felt
crepes.
weird.
Uh-oh.
I could
Okay. I
tell
don't,
this is a good example of weirdness, of awkwardness that we
Okay,
can
to be
relate to.
fair, no matter how comfortable someone is and makes you, I can still make myself uncomfortable. You can be as awkward as I am.
I
But
feel you.
I
I'm there.
I I don't feel that I really truly experienced the way the crepes were meant to be. So they said they had gluten-free crepes. You could just go and order, and I was really excited. So I went to order the crepes, and the lady making them, I mean, she was great. She did a beautiful job, but she wasn't like exceptionally welcoming, which if you're as shy as I am, you need someone to be like, what else would you like? Or you're not really gonna order what you want. So she was just kind of like, okay, what do you want? And it was really nice, and she cleaned everything. I have a gluten allergy, so she cleaned everything beautifully, you know, for me, for my crepe, to keep it gluten-free. She made me a crepe. She asked me what kind I wanted, and I was like, okay, I'll take a Nutella crepe. So she just made a crepe just with Nutella in it, which was fine, but I was kind of wanting, like, fruit and other things, but I was too shy to say, may I also have some fruit? So I had a simple crepe with Nutella in it, and it was very, very good. And I didn't go back because I was too shy.
That is funny.
So I kind of
this is
missed
good for
my
people
crepe.
like me and Sandy to know, because the idea of being too shy to get the bananas and strawberries we want on the Nutella crepe is like speaking a foreign language to both of us.
Right.
It just isn't there. But it helps to know that there are people who actually need this coaching for two reasons. One, because then we will advocate for you and say, do you want me to order the thing? Which I have learned to do over the years. I'm sure you have too, Sandy. Some people just would prefer for us to order for them. And the other thing is, sometimes I'll feel like they're babysitting me when they're asking me questions. And what they're doing is they're being sensitive to people like you, Hannah. And I'm over here like, I told you what I want. I mean, I don't say this out loud, but in my head, I'm like, I just told you everything I want. Why do you keep asking me? And it's really great to remember and think that they're being advocates for people. Probably they're an introvert. And they're like, this is what I would need to be comfortable. So good lesson. And it's a little sad. You have to go back and get your real crepe next time.
I need
you need
crepe
fruit.
redemption. I know. It's just,
Crepe redemption. That's great.
I
Yeah.
need-
So, you know what's funny about that is I noticed that I've been to multiple Cafe de Paris in multiple sandals resort. I feel like they're all that way in that specific location. And I wonder if it's the French thing. You know, French people get a bad rap for being that way. And I wonder if maybe they're just
funny.
acting the part. You think?
that's
Is
so
that how it
funny. Well,
felt,
there's nothing. There was nothing about her that was unkind. She just didn't feel the need to ask me any questions. She just was like, what would you like? And then I was responsible for my order. And I was not up for that. So
I think that's
don't
going
know.
to come with experience. But you ate everywhere else and had a easier time ordering? Okay, good.
I did.
So Antigua, all sandals have a lot of pools. Antigua's got a lot. Did you go hang out by any?
I did. I went and hung out by myself. I hung out by the biggest, loudest pool, which I think at this next time I would go to a quieter pool. But it was still really nice.
So was it like the main one? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
In the center? Okay.
With the swim
With
up
the
bar.
swim up.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
You got to tell her about the people you saw in the pool, because she did a lot
Yes.
of people watching that day.
But that's so
Well, I was
fun.
alone.
It is.
Oh, yeah. So I was alone, which is abnormal. Most people have their partner with them. I was alone, and I thought swimming, like you go swimming. Nobody swims.
No.
I didn't realize this. I didn't realize that at an adult resort, people don't swim. There's a huge pool and nobody swims.
That's really funny.
So true.
No, there's no swimming. There might be some standing in the pool.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen
I
that.
got some. Well, I may not have, but I felt like I got some weird looks. So I was by myself trying to swim, and that was just not normal. So everybody had a partner. So inside the pool, like not in the bar, okay, I'll start over. The thing that I noticed was there were 3 types of couples or people who swam.
Or didn't swim.
There was, or didn't swim, who were in the pool. So what I noticed, the first type of couple, which the people who like are really in love and they might be on their honeymoon, they might just really like each other, they're holding each other, and they're just basically floating with each other and hugging each other. The second type of person or couple would be the people who bob, and they usually bob with a drink. and they just kind of bob up and down in the pool, holding their glass in one hand and chatting and bobbing, and they don't know anything but that up and down motion. That's it. That's all it is. And then the third type of person is the completely hammered, usually at the bar.
Okay, I'm like crying laughing because you are describing it so well. It is so true. And it is hilarious, and I love your explanations. They're so funny. So, Hannah, now when you go back with Devin, your husband, which are you going to be?
Oh, good question.
We will either be the romantic floaty people, or we will swim. I will swim.
Swimming.
I will break out of the norm and swim and play. They'll be like, what are you doing?
And you ain't splashing somebody, and they're just doing the bob, and then they're going to bob slowly over
away
to the side, like somewhere else,
Get away from me.
So funny.
Oh, you described them so well.
It's
so well.
Thank you.
It's so true.
It really
so
is.
True. And the
I've
later
been
in the
to
day,
so
the more
many.
movement there is.
Yeah.
There's the lovings are a little more lovey, and the drunk people are a little more drunk, and the bobbers are a little more bobby. So that's the only difference.
They are.
There were some
Until
pretty
everyone
drunk
starts
people
to
during
make-
the day.
This is that's true. That's true. Then they start to make their way to the food
Yes.
because
Food helps.
eventually it's dinner time. So, where else did you eat? Did you have any favorite restaurants?
My favorite was the hibachi grill that I went to. I don't remember what the name was. Do you remember the name?
Well,
Oh, at
it's
Antigua? No, I'm terrible at that.
it tends to be kimonos everywhere else. It should be kimonos.
I think it's oh yes, it is. It's kimonos everywhere.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me? That's my shit.
I don't know.
I forget something every episode.
They are really good at their job there.
They're more entertaining than most.
They really
I
are, and I feel like it's so neat that they've tailored to the type of resort that they're in. Did y'all notice that? Like, did they do the heart and stuff?
Yes, he did.
Isn't it cool?
So cute.
I-
So what do you eat
We had a
at
great guy.
hibachi?
Whatever they give me that's gluten free.
She's
Good answer.
adventurous.
Good answer. So you are an adventurous eater?
For the most part, seafood is really kind of where I struggle. I do shrimp, and I can do a little bit of fish, but mostly I eat chicken and rice and vegetables and the other things. But shrimp is good.
And
She
they're
said no
so
to
good
octopus on a cruise, for example.
Okay.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's got to have their
did.
limit, right?
Yeah.
So Kimonos was your favorite restaurant. Did you finally have adult drinks?
I did. I don't think that was my first one, but I had my favorite drink at
Oh.
Kimonos because we were with a lady,
Vanessa.
a wonderful lady,
Precious
Vanessa.
lady
Mhm.
Vanessa.
Yes.
I know who you're going
and
to talk about. And it's okay.
yeah.
We can mention her name. Vanessa
I,
is the
I,
best.
it's like, yes,
the
I
best
can, right? Yeah.
sandals person ever. So you can just say it. Vanessa.
I
Yep.
think we
She's
all are going to
amazing.
find our favorite because I have my favorite over at Montego Bay. We've talked about Andrew
The
before.
bartender. Yes.
He is fantastic. So Vanessa, when I go to Antigua, I ask for
No,
Vanessa.
Vanessa works. She's on the corporate level.
Oh,
So
never
You
mind.
have to get no.
Darn
I know.
But sometimes she travels. If you ever get an opportunity to meet Vanessa, you will. She'll light up your life, and she and Hannah adore each other. So it was precious, and
That is
so
awesome.
she advocated for you. What did she tell you to drink? And you have to
Yes.
you have to say it in Vanessa's voice.
I'll try. Yes. I will try. She's amazing. Total advocate. I didn't know what I was doing. I don't drink because I'm not yet 21, but obviously in Antigua, the drinking age is 18 and I was 19. So I was like, I don't know what to drink. She goes, have a dirty banana.
So is she British?
No,
Yeah.
that's just the way Hannah.
No.
Can say, no, she's
Okay, I'm just
she's
checking
from-
because
yeah.
that was
Where's
a
she
bit
from?
British. But
She
she,
is from
I was,
Caribbean island.
okay.
Oh, well, that makes more sense. I hope she doesn't listen to that part.
I hope she does. She'll love it.
I think she might like it
No.
the way y'all are describing her. So a dirty banana.
That's-
Did you order it?
I did. Yes. She probably ordered it for me. It was so good. It was just, I don't know. It was almost like a boozy milkshake, but it was more like a really good boozy smoothie. It had some milk in it, but it didn't taste like ice cream. It was like chocolate, banana, a little
Oh.
bit of milk and then alcohol. It was so good.
And
You drink like your
so,
father.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. You do sound a little bit like your dad. You do. So, did you have more than one? Did you stop at one? Did you pace yourself? I would hope.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I just
Okay.
had the one. Yeah.
But you enjoyed it. That's cool.
It was
I'm
very,
excited.
very good.
It's kind of a rite of passage. That's kind of cool that your first alcoholic adult beverage was in Antigua.
Yeah.
That's a good
I
story.
know. It
Super
is,
fun.
isn't it? It was so
is.
fun.
That's awesome.
So I want to shift us over to the amazing day because she talks about this as just one of the best days of her life. When we hopped onto a yacht, Vanessa was still with us. That's one reason I thought of it. We hopped on a yacht and we were toured around just some of the most beautiful places in Antigua on the water. Antigua has 366 beaches. So
Oh,
you
wow.
can actually go on one every single, but a couple of them nobody's found, which is so interesting. I don't know how they know, but I don't know. I'm just telling you what I've heard.
Like,
But
I have questions.
I know you could find a different. I know I did too. You can find different beaches every day of the year, and they took us to some of the most beautiful. So we hopped on a yacht. It was Hannah and our first time to just sit on a yacht and bob around and be taken place to place. And we went to Stingray City, which there's more than one Stingray City.
Ooh.
Like you can actually, if you are flying into Grand Cayman, you can see Stingray City from the air in the clear water. It was a very different experience, this. So tell us about your impressions of Stingray City, Hannah, because it was very unique.
It was very unique. Well, I didn't really know what to expect, but I don't know that I would have guessed. It was completely in the middle of the ocean,
Yes.
which was fascinating. And they had put just like a floating deck out there, not of wood, just like of, I don't know,
Plastic.
whatever. Floating. Yeah, like plastic. So they had a floating deck in the middle of the ocean, and you would get off of your boat and onto the deck, and then you would get down into the water. And it was the middle of the ocean, but your feet touched the floor and the sand. So they told
The
you had to do the
sand
stingray
bar,
shuffle.
What
So
is this?
in order to
Okay, hold on. Describe the Stingray shuffle. Like, do you have to keep your feet on the ground? Are you trying not to step on them?
You don't take steps because you can step on them, and they have stingers. They're wild stingrays, so they have their stingers, so you don't want to step on
Oh,
them. Yeah.
that's a little nerve-wracking.
Some people were quite uncomfortable. It was enjoyable to be around a group of people because some people were all in it and some people were just terrified, which was hilarious.
I just keep thinking Steve Irwin in my head, and I'm like a little nervous for them right now, and
It
for
was such
you.
a fluke. Yeah.
I know it
Yeah,
was. I know, and I'm an animal person, so I think I'd be all in too, you knowing me. But so were you all in, Hannah?
Oh yeah, it was amazing. They would brush against you, and I thought that was so cool, but every once in a while someone would just yell, "Oh!" because someone would brush against them.
That's funny.
And then the two guys taking us around, they helped us. If we wanted to, we could hold a stingray. But I think CB needs to tell us about holding a stingray.
Well,
Okay.
it's just sad. Like you think that I keep discovering new things to be bad at. And so I was one of the last ones. I'm short, but I have exceptionally short legs. So sometimes I really struggle to get from point A to point B. And it was one of those days. So I was one of the last ones. I was the very last one in our particular group to hold the stingray. And everybody looked like it wasn't that hard. You put your arms out and they guide the stingray to you. And the stingray sits there and you take a picture. And they have little faces. So it's just super fun.
Right.
Well, they guided a stingray, and somehow I lost him. And they guided the sting. It's not a small job to guide a stingray into somebody's arms, and they kept having to do it over and over because I failed at holding the stingray. And so the pictures of me look kind of like I don't know, like I'm in some sort of overly happy panic mode. But we have them for forever. And I lost the stingray seconds after that. I don't know how or why I failed, but I know that the gentlemen who were helping us were just flabbergasted at how I could be that bad at it.
So it really is just put your arms out, you hold it for a minute, and they take your picture, and that's it, and you
Yes.
failed.
I failed.
It was not
miserably
hard.
multiple times.
Okay.
Okay, see, exactly. I don't know.
I don't know why either.
But it was
I don't know why
super
you.
fun.
I don't know.
And it wasn't nervous. Like there was no part of me that was nervous. I was tickled at all the other people who were nervous, but we had our snorkeling gear and I had my GoPro. And so you could go down. If you ever get a chance to do this, it's so much fun. You could go down and I was able to just watch people from underneath dealing with stingrays and they were just
That's
swimming
fun.
all around us. And it was a really, really cool experience.
Okay, now I need to go to Stingray City because that sounds so
Yes,
much fun.
that particular one in Antigua for sure. Special. Okay, and then we went to lunch. Hannah, how'd you feel about lunch?
Well, okay. Here's it. So we went to lunch on a beach, which was great. But it wasn't a very comfortable beach. Like it had hot sand, it had prickles. It was just, and the sand was kind of coarse, but it was a beach. We were like, whatever, we're stopping for lunch. We didn't think much of it till later, but we had lunch. We were trying to avoid sitting on prickles, and we ate our lunch, and we were on our way. The reason that it was the reason that it was so odd was because the last stop we made on this trip around the island was the most amazing beach I had ever been to in my entire life. The sand was like the softest, whitest sand you've ever touched.
Awesome.
The water was just a clear aqua. It was incredible. Nothing was hot. It was all soft. And we were only there for like 15 minutes and we had lunch on the prickly, sandy, it was so odd.
It was longer than 15 minutes because it took me that long to just be able to pee. I know that we were longer, and they gave us rum punch. So that was amazing. So
Did you try that too, Hannah?
Rum punch. Mm-hmm.
I did.
Did you
I
like
really
it?
liked it.
That was where the gentleman
I
panicked
did.
about
Yeah,
getting
so I got a glass. Someone got it for me from one guy and gave it to me. And then we went back onto the boat, and I had my glass with me, and the younger gentleman who was taking us around got nervous, and he goes, "How old are you?" And I said, "Oh, I'm 19." He's like, "Oh, do you have any ID?" I was like, and I was thinking I do, but it's in the thing. But then Vanessa, wonderful Vanessa, just jumps in. She goes, "I've seen her ID, and I can advocate for her," and just like totally. And
That's
he was
great.
still uncomfortable, but you could tell he was like, "Oh, okay." But I actually thought that I think that was kind of nice that he
It
was
is kind of nice. He was looking out for you.
Mhm.
But at the same time, was this an excursion that was through Sandals?
Yeah, you can do it through island routes.
Well-
yes.
Okay,
There's
so
excursions you
could
do through
somebody
island
else that is not on Sandals though do that?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
okay, then that's why he was
picked up
asking.
they picked
That's
up at
okay.
the resorts. Yeah, there was a reason for that. And that was, he was, I think that the reason I love Caribbean islands is because everybody does act like your host.
Yes,
So you
they
will
do.
find people advocating for you, whether it's when I got carsick in Jamaica and I got mothered by the sweetest Jamaican women, or just wherever you are, they'll treat you more like family. And
Absolutely.
everybody treats you like a host of an island. And the lunch we had was served to us from Tupperware containers. So there was like 30 of us on this yacht, and when they fed us, it was like everybody got their paper plate and Tupperware containers. And it felt very much like we were at a church potluck in the middle of the Caribbean. It was just the cutest,
That's
sweetest
fun.
thing. I know. I thought it was like, so these, and I didn't know. It's like, I wonder if they made it this morning or what happened, because it was home cooked food that we
That's
had on this
awesome.
island. And I just went with the entire island sensibilities. And Hannah's only been to one Caribbean island airport. She's been to others on ships, but
Right.
Antigua could be the cleanest airport in the Caribbean as well.
Really?
It is spotlessly clean, like shiny, marbly clean. It's amazing.
That's
always a
great.
good thing
I
to
thought
find
I
out.
thought that about Barbados, so now I need to head over to Antigua and check it out.
They take it seriously, right? They take
That's
care
awesome.
of the people. So
Okay,
and
so
don't
you
feel
just
like you're
kinda
throwing each
glossed
other under the
over-
bus either. Go ahead.
You started to say something and really went by it very quickly, and I'm intrigued. About 15 minutes to pee. What?
Oh, well,
Like
That's
you
how
went
I
really
embarrass
fast over that, and I
myself.
feel like there's a story.
well, it's not really a story so much as I do manage to embarrass myself everywhere we go, and this way it was.
And I gotta
just
call it
could
out.
Not go. What'd you say, Sandy?
I said I have to call it out now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
can't let it
I,
go.
I just, no. Well, it's hard. Like when you go on something like this, it's not like we ever had a bathroom to go to, because the ocean is a bathroom, and you have to transition and realize at some point when you're adventurous that the fish pee in it, the sharks pee in it, everything pees
Uh-huh.
in it. It's okay if you pee in it. But I can't psychologically get past that hurdle. And so I, at some point, stayed still for so long that people started to mock me. They were like, "We know what you're doing over there. We know what you're trying to accomplish." It's like, you're exactly right. Can't seem to do it. You're in the ocean. So we
So
were
sad.
there. So it felt much
That's
longer to
funny.
me because I was trying to go to the bathroom. But, I
That's
sipped rum
funny.
punch at the same time. I did not suffer. Yeah.
That's
what can
funny.
you do? I know. Well, this was so fun, Hannah, to have you
Yes.
as our guest. And now I'm
Thank
sure
you.
everybody wants to go experience the pools and the
Mm-hmm.
stingrays, probably with you, but they'll just, most of the time that's not available. So
Can I
you
go?
There
should
is-
go anyway.
Yes,
go with
there's one more
Hannah.
funny thing. Oh,
Oh, do
there's
tell.
yes, and I've just remembered it. Do you remember what it was like to actually ride on the yacht with the water?
When we were on
That was-
the back row on the edge.
So
Yes.
was it the back or the second to back? It was either
Close
what
enough.
I think wherever one of these rows was absolutely the worst place to sit because the water would just shoot you in the face the
It was the
entire time that we were
straight up the face. It was awesome.
all the way to whatever stop we were making next.
I will never have a facial
was
as good
awful.
as the one that we had that day. Do you remember? Our skin was so soft because we literally salt water attacked us for an entire
Some
20
burning eyes though.
minutes. Yeah,
I sure
Goodness,
hope you
my eyes
moisturized
burn.
after. Did you
Yeah.
moisturize
Oh, yeah.
after? Okay, good.
We had to. We just, some of our skin was gone. We had to.
I feel like that would-
develop it in
That would make your stingray pictures even that much more lovely because
Oh,
you had
Sandy,
your
we're-
saltwater
yeah.
We're not
facial
pretty
right
when
before.
we swim anyway. Pale,
Well-
redheadish type people. There's just we don't look good when we swim. We don't try. It's
Well,
just-
this is why the poor man was worried about me drinking rum punch because
Oh.
at the end of a day in the ocean for us pale people, I mean, I didn't have any makeup. My hair was in 2 braids. I was wearing an athletic swimsuit, so there's nothing like girly or flirtatious about it at all. And I just completely, freckles and
Yeah.
no eyelashes. And he's like, how old
How
are
old
you?
are you? Because she
Oh
looked
my
like she was about 12. So
Yeah,
I'm
I did.
sure. I bet she can't. Hannah couldn't be not cute if she tried.
Aww.
There's that double negative. I don't know. I hope that came off the way I meant
I
it.
took it as a compliment.
Okay.
I did as well.
Okay. I'm just
I did not
making
feel
sure.
cute.
But you couldn't.
Oh
you
my
couldn't not be cute. Not.
Let's-
I don't.
Well,
I
that's
don't
nice.
Let's sign off
Disagree.
with our favorite Caribbean island because now I
Oh.
think we're going to know which one's Hannah's. But mine
Okay.
is Grenada. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I can't wait to go back to Grenada. The people were incredible, but there's a lot that are close seconds, and Antigua is definitely one of those. How about you, Sandy?
Are you really gonna make me pick just one? It's so
Yeah.
hard. I'm
Do
gonna
it.
shout out 3 because I love them all. Barbados was wonderful. The people of Barbados are amazing,
Oh.
but the welcome of the Jamaican people, I love even. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
it's
Jamaica's
just
amazing.
so hard. And then of course I do love the island where Nassau is because there's such cool history there. Lots
I
of good
really
stuff.
thought you were going to say St. Lucia. See, I know you love St. Lucia.
I
too,
see. I
so-
love St. Lucia too, but I don't think it's going to make the top 5, even though it's wonderful with the pitons. See, stop
It's so
making
hard.
me
It's so
shout out
hard.
more. They're wonderful.
Well, maybe it'll be easier for Hannah since she hasn't been to as many. What's your favorite Caribbean island, Hannah?
I was going to say, it's good that Sandy named a bunch because I've only been to one, and Antigua was my favorite.
You've
Of
been
the
to
one I went
Nassau,
to.
but you haven't really been to Nassau.
That's true.
I don't think it's the same.
But
when
to the
cruise and step
touristy,
off.
yeah.
Oh, it is very different if you stay there compared to being on a cruise.
Immerse.
It is.
Yeah,
it is
for
so
sure.
much better.
Well,
It is,
this
but-
is the 3D travel team and
right.
loving all of the Caribbean and our special guest Hannah. The home
Hannah,
office
thank you for
assistant.
coming.
Oh, thank you for having me. That was fun.
Yes,
Until next time.
that's right.